Well, Bill, nice to see you back here in the office. It's been a mad few months, quite clearly, and the food service circle has been formed to try and support the industry through a very difficult time. And I hope you won't mind me saying that you've been in this game a fair while, haven't you? How's the last 6 months been for you, and what would your takeaways be so far?
Well, before I answer the last 6 months, I think the Food Service Circle is an initiative that we all have to be involved in. I think it's fantastic that we're all across the sector collaborating with one another. We recognise that a number of people have been displaced, friends, colleagues who it's been heartbreaking and tragic to see them go because of the volumes that we now have. And it's been very challenging, but this is a great initiative and one that we should all participate in and be proud to be involved in.
Absolutely.
But in the last 6 months, I think I'd be lying if I didn't say it's probably been the most challenging time of my career. I've never had to deal with anything quite like this, but neither has the industry. So it's not just us. Across the entire sector has been very challenging, where we saw the entire business being locked down within 48 hours. And then you've got to deal with the challenges that you had to face at that time. So we went from a £500 million business to less than 30. And then you have to then right-size the business to cope with the volumes that you have to survive. And as we have came through that survival mode, I think the appropriate thing now is to talk about the challenges now and what we're doing, because although the last 6 months we've all been in hibernation, you and I and the team have been working on the business, relationships with clients, and still dealing with clients on a go-forward basis to what are we going to do together to help them pull their business out of hibernation and get people back to work and start opening up the sectors that we participate in. And I know next week is going to be the schools, and we're aware of all of the work that's went into schools, designing menus, working with supplier partners and getting people and schools open. But from your role as CEO, what have you been working on to help us and help clients get this business back to focusing on the future rather than the past 6 months?
Well, it's been in two stages, really. I mean, in the initial stages of lockdown, we talked about the 2 R's, and we spent all of our time, and it was exhausting, really, for everyone involved, renegotiating and restructuring our business. And those renegotiations in our industry have been tough because our clients have been going through a difficult time, and we've needed to establish a safe passage, if you like, through these uncertain trading months so that we could both come out of it intact. And the team have worked really well to do that. And I'm proud of all those efforts and grateful to the very many clients who have been incredibly supportive of us. And it's been testament to the work that the teams do on the front line. So, gladly we're coming out of that renegotiating and restructuring period, because it's been a tough period, and it's been, as you said, incredibly sad to have to say goodbye to some close colleagues, and we hope to be able to welcome them back in the not too distant future. But now I think we owe it to those colleagues, and we owe it to our business and our clients to be all about energy and make sure that we're not limping back to work, and we're talking about rebounding back to work with a real focus on what we're here to do. Because as much as all of our enhanced hygiene practices and managing social distancing are critical, and all those critical control points are critical for us as a business to provide our customers with confidence and reassurance, we are a food and drink business. And that's why we get out of bed in the morning, and our clients will remember and our customers will remember the businesses that looked after their well-being and made sure that they were safe and secure and gave them confidence, but never ever forgot that we are a food business, and what's on the plate and that beautifully crafted cup of coffee and that message of welcome, regardless of whether it's behind a visor or a piece of perspex,
absolutely,
and with an appropriately distanced queue, is what we're in this business for. So we're focusing on our food offers. We've been developing some simple, easy to create, menu cycles for the business to, as you've said, come out of hibernation and deliver with less resources, which we've all had to adjust to. And we've also been working with our suppliers as well, because this has hit our supply chain really hard.
Absolutely.
And often people aren't talking about our suppliers. And it's not just the small suppliers; it's the big suppliers as well that are having to manage bringing their own teams from the job retention scheme gradually and in line with volume, because none of us are giving those suppliers the volume that they're used to. And actually, we've got some really high quality niche suppliers coming to us now and saying, we need your help. We can't be delivering small volumes to the kitchen back door multiple times a day across your estate where you are open. We need your help to help us to manage our overhead, to recognise that all of the different control points they have to manage around hygiene and cleaning down vehicles and contactless deliveries takes them time and costs them money. And they're looking to us to help them keep going through this really difficult time. So we're trying to work with our suppliers to find different ways to deliver and to deliver more cost effectively to keep them going. And we've had some terrible situations where some wonderful suppliers haven't made it through these last few months. And I think we're all under an obligation to try and make sure that we support our supply chain as much as we can.
I would agree with that. I think buying in volume, capitalising on storage, having less deliveries is the right way forward. And even our clients are asking us to review how we go about our business to make sure that they in turn are dealing with less administration, less vehicles, less of everything, and particularly the schools. When we're opening up the schools, some, be it private or state, have been asking us about our delivery mechanisms and what we're going to do to improve it. So I think you're absolutely right. And I think it would be remiss of us to expect our supplier partners to carry on the way it used to be versus the here and now. So that's definitely the way forward.
They need our help. And we're glad to help. So that's been a main focus. But I mean, also gladly, there's bids going on, and I think whilst this has been a very difficult time for everybody, and we've seen the volumes really dramatically contract in much of our existing estate, and as we wait for that business to come back to life, we've equally seen some new opportunities come to market. And one thing that really strikes me is that if there are clients out there who previously weren't that focused on the role of food and drink in creating, cementing and enhancing company culture, giving people literally the sort of fuel and the motivation to get together and socialise and collaborate, they're certainly thinking about it now. And those organisations that are reviewing their current requirements are really putting food at the top of the agenda. And whether that's for us or one of our competitor or colleague organisations in our sector, that can only be good news. It just raises the profile of what we do, which I'm delighted about. And then lastly, I suppose, what are we doing differently? Well, frankly, Bill, we're doing things in 6 weeks that used to take us 6 months. So whether it's long, because we just don't have the time, and there's not enough people to have meeting on meeting. So we're making quick decisions. We're implementing new technology. We've designed a whole new range of delivered-in concepts for our clients. The guys in Ireland were first to market in their offer in Dublin, and gave us the enthusiasm and the confidence to follow suit. And we're really pleased with what we've put together to help some of our clients come back and manage their different volume requirements. So, as I said at the beginning, we're focusing on food, we're focusing on offers, we're focusing on suppliers, and whilst recognising and always being very sympathetic and sensitive to the situation that our clients are in and our sector and our industry is in, we're absolutely determined not to limp back to work apologetically, but to bounce back with energy. And that's our role as leaders, I believe, in this industry.
No, I think you're absolutely right. If the last few months, some of the things that we have been able as a team to create and execute, get to market, present to clients in speed that we've never had to do before, has been very heartening. And I think the team who have helped us put that together. You know, a big shout out to them, and that was for different sectors. The work we've done with schools, even in destinations, or events, it's been fantastic. And you're right, we're not going to limp back. You know, like, we've got a fantastic business. This is a fantastic industry. We know, based on what's happening around the world, other countries have bounced back. It may have taken them 12 months, 14 months, or 15 months. It will come back. And I think the onus is on us now to get this business back out of hibernation, back on track, so that we can, in partnership with the food service circle, get people back to work. You know, that's what it's all about. I mean, we've got to get the business back, but we want people back in work. And what we've been through in the last couple of months, having to let people go through no fault of ours, but because of a pandemic, you know, that they've now got under control, that's the goal, and that's what we need to be focused on and doing. And I think some of the work that's been done by the team has been heartening.
And finally, then, Bill, message to those people that find themselves displaced through COVID-19. You've been in the industry an awful long time. Message to those people.
The saddest thing in my career was having to sign lots of letters letting people go, and putting little personal notes on to some who's worked with me for years. And I'm just going to say the same thing. We as a team will be working extraordinarily hard to get them and their families back to where they once were. That's our goal. That's what we're going to be working on. And as an industry, you know, we have one voice now. We're lobbying government, and we're going to do the best we can.
Heartening to hear. Thank you, Bill. And you'll be pleased to know that we've been working on Microsoft Teams here at CH&CO for the last 6 months. But if my head has been half cut off throughout, you'll see that practice does not make perfect. But we wish you all well. Take care.
Bye.